Security footage captured the tense moment. A motorbike thief zeroed in on a woman walking alone, menacing her and demanding her belongings. Terrified, the victim complied, fearing for her safety. Just when it seemed the robber would make a clean getaway, fate took a sharp turn. From a nearby parked car, an off-duty police officer had been watching the scene unfold. In a flash, he sprang into action, rushing straight at the suspect and cutting off his escape. Within seconds, the officer overpowered the stunned criminal and forced him to the ground. A brazen car robbery attempt was dramatically cut short, with the entire ordeal captured on video. The footage shows how situational awareness and lightning-fast reactions can turn the tables on an attacker in a matter of seconds. But the chaos also carries a sobering warning. Once the assailant flees, the danger shifts. Chasing or striking back in that moment can blur the line between defense and retaliation, posing risks not only to personal safety, but also to the law. Two criminals disguised as rescue workers thought they had devised the perfect plan: get close to a man's family and strike when least expected. But they never anticipated the fierce courage of his wife. In an instant, she exploded into action. With fearless determination, she delivered a flurry of powerful blows, shielding her husband and child from danger. The thugs, stunned and outmatched, staggered back in panic. A couple was lost in their own world, walking hand in hand, when danger crashed into their perfect moment. A motorbike screeched to a halt, the rider pulling out a gun and demanding their money. But instead of surrendering, the young man's instincts ignited. With fearless precision, he lunged at the thief, jumped onto the bike, and executed a textbook Brazilian takedown, pinning the criminal before he could even react. One bold move turned a nightmare into triumph, and proved this boyfriend was every bit the hero his partner needed. What started as a tense street approach quickly flipped upside down. Two men closed in, their intent clear and threatening. But before they could make a move, their target acted first. With lightning speed, he pulled a firearm, a single motion that froze the attackers in place. Staring down the barrel, the would-be assailants had no choice but to back off, retreating in defeat without a single shot fired. Two ruthless thugs thought they had found the perfect victim, a lone young man walking with his backpack. They struck fast, snatching at his belongings with brute force. But their plan collapsed in spectacular fashion. Out of nowhere, police cars stormed onto the scene, sirens screaming and tires screeching. A calm afternoon at a small fashion boutique erupted into chaos when two armed robbers stormed inside. One of them, eyes cold and merciless, raised his gun at the young shop owner, snarling for money. Paralyzed with fear, she could only stare as danger closed in. Then, thunder on the stairs. Her husband charged down from the upper floor, gun in hand. In a split second, he pulled the trigger. The crack of gunfire shattered the suffocating silence, forcing the attackers back. In that decisive moment, his fearless action shielded his wife from a tragedy that seemed inevitable only seconds before. Under the cover of darkness, two robbers launched a ruthless ambush, cornering a lone man and holding him at their mercy. The night seemed lost, danger closing in, until courage turned the tide. A routine parking stop turned into a heart-pounding encounter when a man was suddenly ambushed by two suspects leaping from a nearby vehicle. The assailants attempted to intimidate their target, but what they didn't expect was his lightning-fast response. Caught off guard by his fearless reaction, the armed duo panicked, abandoning their plan and fleeing in haste. The dramatic footage not only shows how quickly danger can erupt in broad daylight, but also how a moment of bold instinct can flip the script on would-be criminals. As a family arrived at the gate of their home, an armed robber suddenly lunged, threatening the wife in a ruthless attempt to snatch her purse and money. But in that split second, the husband acted without hesitation. Drawing his gun, he fired in defense of his loved ones, a swift and decisive move that ended the threat. Thanks to his courage, his family was unharmed, while the criminal was left to face the full force of the law. It was a quiet night, the street empty, a lone woman waiting beneath the dim glow of a street lamp. Then, chaos. Headlights sliced through the darkness, blinding her as a man leapt from a car, gun raised, charging straight at her. But the attacker miscalculated. Instead of fear, she answered with speed and precision. Her sudden, decisive movement stunned him. His nerve broke instantly. Frozen in shock, the would-be robber bolted back into the car. Within seconds, the vehicle vanished into the night. What began as a simple father-daughter chat on the sidewalk suddenly turned into chaos. Out of nowhere, a group of robbers charged straight at them. The quick-thinking girl bolted to safety, while her father stayed behind, calm, sharp, and ready. In one swift motion, he slammed the car window shut, then launched into action. With fierce determination, he stood his ground, transforming fear into courage. At that moment, he was more than just a parent. He was a warrior. Security footage from a parking lot captured the terrifying moment. A gang of armed robbers charged toward a car, ready to strike. Their plan seemed unstoppable, until the vehicle's owner made a split-second decision. Sensing danger, he drew his firearm and fired a single